Hey guys, so I'm trying a different way of filming a face-to-face video today. So I'm using my computer and like literally just talking straight at the computer. Whenever I do face-to-face videos, I either get criticised that the volume is too quiet or too loud. So because I use my phone or various other people's phones, like John. Um, so I'm trying this in the hopes that this is more pleasing for your ears until I can find a way to, I don't know, sort out what the hell goes on with audio and what makes people cross with me. So today's video, I'm just saying this because I hope that this audio is okay and I haven't just wasted like loads of my time. This is the only way really that I can make a video quickly. But anyway, the intro is boring. I know people get fed up of listening to boring intros on YouTube. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. Right, so I thought I'd make a really quick video because you guys know that I love doing a December Daily album. I talked about it quite a lot. You guys know that I'm a bit Christmas mad anyway, because I also talk about that a lot as well. So I thought I would do a video kind of discussing some of the prompt ideas I had for you guys for doing a December Daily this year. Obviously, we live in a COVID world now. So I know some people have been kind of thinking, I'm not going to do December Daily this year because I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, blah, 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 miserable, 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 which I know for some people in some areas, it's pretty shit. We are really lucky where we live. Our R rate is incredibly low, and we're on one of the lower tiers. So I appreciate that we are very privileged and we are currently in very good health and all that kind of stuff. And I know there are people all over the world who are having, who have had in 2020 and continue to have a pretty shitty time. I'm very aware of that, and I don't want to take anything away from those people. I know there's lots of suffering in the world, but I do also know that Christmas and scrapbooking and crafting and things, like it is for me, is a great healer, a hobby, and something to enjoy doing, like a little bit of light at the end of a bit of a dark tunnel. So yeah, I kind of been thinking about prompts and things, and over on my Facebook group, you'll be able to go over there and download everything that I'm talking about today. You'll be able to download that in a written PDF format so that you don't have to listen to my video over and over and over and over again to get the prompts, but I thought I would just kind of discuss them with you in a video format as well, and I'll pop the link below so that you can go to the group and download that. In that PDF document I've also written like the apps that I use for editing my photos and how I print my photos and just kind of my process. Really, it's a 9-page A4 document. So yes. I can type just as much as I can talk. So I still think that even though there are lots of things that we can't do this year, there's also an incredible amount of things that we can do. And I started to think about these things and I wrote them down. I've written these prompts down before and I have shared them before in the past, but I've just expanded on them. And what I've done is I've made 2 lists, so that depending on where you live in the world and what tier you're in, if you're in the UK, you can still do some. And in fact, my list of things that you can do in a can't do world is actually bigger than the list of things you can do in a can do world, which is quite interesting. So it just shows you that the magic of Christmas, just like the Grinch in the Grinch, the magic of Christmas does not come from a store. Merry Christmas. Okay. So I'm just going to run through my prompts with you. And there's a lot of them, but I thought I'd just discuss them. So number 1, lights, Christmas lights. I don't know about you guys, but we live in a small village and it's quite easy to walk around safe and securely. And so I thought you could go for a walk around your village and, you know, bundle up, take photos of people's different houses, like your neighbours' houses, all decorated for Christmas. Or you could drive around. If you can't walk, don't want to walk, you could drive around looking at people's Christmas lights. You might kind of get questioned if you're taking pictures of other people's houses, so maybe don't do that, particularly in certain areas. But you can still take a photo of like yourself or um, your lights, and you can document them, like who has the craziest lights, who had the best lights, that kind of thing. Your December daily doesn't have to be like majorly photo heavy. It could just be written, or you could just take a selfie of yourself like dressed in your hat and scarf, ready to go out on that village walk. It doesn't necessarily have to be photos of the village. Number 2, ornaments. Do you have a favourite ornament? What is it? Does it have sentimental value? Like in our family, our wedding anniversary is always in November, obviously. Duh, the wedding anniversary doesn't move. It's in November, and we usually go on holiday or we go somewhere or whatever. In fact, to be honest with you, wherever we go in the year, if we go somewhere, I don't know, like a museum, or like this year we went to Stonehenge, if they sell Christmas ornaments, I usually buy one. And so our Christmas tree is full of like handmade ornaments that the kids have made, and like my godchildren have made, and friends' kids, or baubles. Like it's like a timeline, like a history of where we've been. Like we've got photos from New York and Hawaii when we went on honeymoon, and like Stonehenge and all those kinds of things. So somewhere in there, you've probably got a story that you can tell about your Christmas ornaments, or maybe you've bought a new ornament for this year, or ornaments for this year. What have you bought? Take a photo of those, document them, and tell the story about it. So number 3, music. For me, music is a massive thing at Christmas. Well, in general, but I love Christmas music. This year, I'm obsessed with Dolly Parton's "Holly Jolly Christmas" from the movie Christmas on the Square. Yeah, there you go. I said it. I'm a Dolly Parton fan anyway, and when I saw that, I was like, yeah, play that. And I just love Christmas music in general. So you could document, like, you could make a mixtape. You could write a list of like your top 10 favorite Christmas songs and compile a mixtape. So you could do that in written format or in photo format. You could get the album covers online and make a collage of the album covers. Or if you've got those albums, you could do like a flat lay and take a photo of them. You could take a photo of like you're currently listening to. Either like a screenshot of your phone, or you with your headphones on listening to your phone, or like we've got a record player, take a picture of your record player, anything like that. What does music mean to you at Christmas? Is there a particular song that means Christmas to you? Music, anything about music you could document. Number 4, movies. So you could do exactly the same with movies as you do with music. What I did last year, and I never quite finished compiling it, and I'm going to try and do it this year, is for every movie that I watched, I did a page of like the DVD, like the movie poster, whatever that, or the DVD cover, and like a little mini review of the movie. So you could do that, like a one complete spread of all the movies you watched this season, or you could perhaps like do a page of what your, document like your favorite movies or the movie that you're currently watching. And so that leads us on to number 6. What does movie night look like for you? So you could take like a screenshot, like a shot of your living room with you watching the movie under a blanket with popcorn and snacks, that kind of thing, like a movie thing. Number 7, Christmas jumpers. They used to be a bit of a joke, didn't they? Christmas jumpers, and everyone used to like laugh at people wearing Christmas jumpers. But now they're kind of like all the rage, and loads of people wear them. Or Christmas pajamas. They're now a thing, like with a family all wearing matching pajamas. So you could do like some selfies, all wearing your matching outfits, things like that. I usually we've got a radiator under a shelf in our hallway, and on that shelf I normally have Christmas ornaments, and there's a radiator underneath it. And the very first year my daughter lived with us, I didn't tumble dry her Christmas jumpers. I put them on this radiator, and I took a photo of it because they looked super cute, like all these little Christmas jumpers underneath a shelf with Christmas ornaments on. And so I try and replicate that every year now, because as obviously she grows, so she has new Christmas jumpers. So I try and replicate that every year. I think that's quite cute. So on that theme, number 8, you could take photos of different places around your home. Like, do you like have a particular area in your home that you really like how it's decorated? I always do like a little cluster. I'm quite a minimalist when it comes to decorations in our house, except at Christmas. And on our sideboard in the front room, I tend to do like a massive cluster of ornaments, which I would never normally do, but I really like how that looks, so I'd take a photo of that. Number 9, document the gifts that you've bought for others, or you could kind of do like a flat lay of the presents you've bought, or do you have like a tower of Amazon boxes in your house, something like that? You could take a photo of those. Just a word of caution: if you have believers in your house, just think about what you are photographing, who is going to be looking at your album, and when. So your believer now might not look in your album, but your believer might look at your album in 2 years' time, and they might still be a believer in 2 years' time. So you just need to think about what you are photographing and who it's come from. um, and so number 10, don't forget to take photos of the wrapped Christmas presents as well. I do actually like to document what people got for Christmas, because sometimes you forget and it is nice to know. So yeah, take a picture of them, like what people got or what you've bought them, and then you can take a photo of them when they're wrapped. I like to take a photo of them before they've been given, just simply because sometimes it can get a bit crazy come Christmas, and if kids just suddenly want to start playing with something, that's been lost. But if you don't do it, that's fine. It's not a biggie. It doesn't really matter. Again, just think about the wrapping paper that you use for those gifts, and what you're documenting if you've got little believers around. Okay, so number 11, take a photo of your feet. Like, where are you standing right now? So when we went to get our Christmas tree, I took a picture of my feet. I was wearing Christmas leggings, and I could see like the Christmas trees like all around me, and I thought that was like made a cute photo, so I'm doing that. And it might be interesting to document what you're doing right at that moment, good or bad. We took our masks off because we were outside, and we literally, when we went to buy our Christmas tree, there was no one else there. So we were outside, so we took our masks off. But I was actually like, well, we could have left our masks on, because it is just a sign of the times. It is just a documentation of the times in which we're living. But I'll leave that up to your judgment of whether you want to document that sort of thing or not. And number 12, baking. So baking is I think, quite a Christmassy thing. Christmas is baking, baking is Christmas. So you could document the process of it being made. So like one day I missed Stir Up Sunday. And people make Christmas cakes all the time. They don't just have to do it on Stir Up Sunday, but you could take photo one day of the fruit being soaked in alcohol, and then another day of you baking the cake. You could take photos of that. You could take like a nice creative arty shot of like cookies with like a rolling pin and flour and stuff, Pinterest and Instagram worthy. Or you could take a photo of your final things, or you could take a picture of your burnt disasters. It's all worth documenting. It's all good. Number 13, your weekly food shop. It's quite interesting when you look back on things to think about prices. So you could save your receipt. If you go to a physical shop and they have those like thermal receipts that you print out, make sure you photograph it and print it, because the thermal, they usually go black, or they either go black if they get hot, or the ink on them fades, and so you won't see it. So take a photo and then print out the photo of your receipt. Or if you do online food shopping, you can print that out. Or you could perhaps just like take a photo of what you bought, your food shopping, particularly run up to Christmas. And I think it's just really interesting to record things like the price of a pint of milk, bread, petrol, that kind of thing. I think that's really interesting to look back on in years to come, particularly as we are in strange times. We are going to approach Brexit, and that might have a bit of a change for some of our like food supply chains. So that might be quite an interesting one to look back at in years to time. 14. Do you have any Christmas traditions in your family? What do you do? You could kind of like document those Christmas traditions, especially if you're hoping to pass them down for future generations to do. That might be quite a nice idea. And if not, you could write about sort of childhood things if that's not at all triggering for you. Again, I'm going to leave this entirely up to your judgment. You know yourself better than anyone else. 15, advent calendar. Do you have one? You're never too old to have an advent calendar. Make sure that's documented and in there. Christmas cards, number 16. Do people still send Christmas cards? I do. I don't send Christmas cards to people that I see on like a daily basis, but I do try and send Christmas cards still to people that I don't see very often or who live like far away. And I think this year more than other years it's going to be nice for people to receive a card. um I like receiving cards and happy mail. It doesn't happen very often. It used to, but it doesn't happen at all often. So yeah, I'm going to try and send some more Christmas cards out this year. So it'd be quite nice to do a photo of you like writing your Christmas card, so you can document what Christmas card you sent. Maybe you do a family photo as your Christmas card. Make sure that goes in like your photo shoot. Maybe you like to save an actual one of your actual cards that you don't send. Just hole punch that and put it in your album, so you can document what card you send that year. Or you could take a photo of your Christmas cards hanging up, so you can display those. Where are we? 17. Your wish list. You could document what's on your wish list if you want to. You don't have to. Number 18, if your children write to Father Christmas, make sure you take photos of them writing their letter. I don't know how you guys do it. In our house, we leave our letters on the fireplace and they go whoosh up the chimney, just like in Santa Claus the movie. So yeah, we always take a photo of them, us like writing our letters and then leaving them on the chimney. But maybe you take them to a post box and you could document your child putting them through the post box, that kind of thing. It is quite nice to keep a record of what your child's letter is. Believers in the room might want to leave. Okay, your believers are gone. Good. Again, going back to making sure you know, like, if your believer is going to be looking through your album or not. I don't recommend putting the original letter in your album unless you know for sure that your believer is not going to see that either later in the month or in a year's time, 2 years' time, when they still believe, because they're going to be like, hang on a minute, I thought my letter went off to the North Pole. So it's always best to keep the original somewhere very secret that your believer's not going to see, and either scan their letter and print it, or photograph it and print it and put it in your album. That way your believer will still believe that their letter went to the North Pole, and you will still have a documentation of the letter. Just trying to help you out there. Talking of like letters and messages and something, number 19, you could send like a Christmas message via text to a friend, and then they might reply and say Merry Christmas to you too, hun. And you can why do people always put hun on text messages? I don't know, it's just a thing. Has everyone else noticed that? I'm getting cynical in my old age, I know. I do know that. So you could take a screenshot of the text message, like a Merry Christmas message, backwards and forwards. I'm just trying to think. Where are we? 20. The year's coming to a close. Do you like to do a reflection on the past year? Maybe not this year. I don't know. So you could do a reflection on the year, or you could do like some goals setting for next year, that kind of thing. Whichever works for you. If it's too triggering, then obviously don't. It's been a weird year. 21, crafts. Let's get back positive. Crafts. You could make some crafts. Do crafting. Photograph that. 22, find the joy in the snuggly. So I know it's cold sometimes and wet and miserable, but embrace the hygge. Think of the hygge and read some stuff about hygge, Hyggge, if you don't know what that means. That's all about kind of like just enjoying the snuggly, cozy moments. So think about wrapping yourself up in a blanket with a hot chocolate or a cup of tea and take a shot of that. Just embrace the everyday and find the joy in it and find the comfort in it. That's where the happiness is. I think when you accept what you got and you make the most of it, that's where you're happy. So if it's a rainy, miserable day, you have a choice to feel rainy and miserable inside, and then you will be rainy and miserable inside, or you can choose to feel happy and think, great, it's raining outside, blanket, Netflix, hot chocolate. Um, that's how I get through my days. That's how I get through life. Whether you agree or not, is, you know. Bum 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 bum. 23. The weather. We like to talk about weather, us Brits. So, you know, why not include that? So, was it cold? Did you have to de-ice the car? You could take a photo of you like de-icing your car, or all bundled up, or you could take a picture of the frost. I love taking pictures of hoarfrost. I think hoarfrost is just beautiful. Even better if it's snowman. Oh gosh, I love snow. So, yeah, you could take a picture and like, yeah, why do us Brits like talking about the weather? I don't know, but we do, right? We do. Okay. 24 mince pies. You could have it doesn't have to be mince pies, but I love mince pies. This year, I've struggled to find some really good mince pies. I haven't really been to any physical shops though. Mainly done my shopping online, but I've tried to buy some different mince pies when I have been to a shop. And I've been a bit like, not as exciting this year. So I thought you could come up with like a tasting session. You could buy like like a load of mince pies, from different places, and perhaps like do a taste test, like do like a taste off, like which is the best mince pie, or Christmas cookie, or Christmas donuts, or whatever festive treat you want to. Make sure it's a festive treat though. I have like a taste testing session, you know, like within your household. You could do like a blind taste test or something, and you could like give people score sheets or review sheets or something. I thought that might be you know, just a bit of fun. 25, you could treat yourself, your family to a new board game this Christmas, particularly if you're going to be spending a lot of time inside. You know, if we're not going to the parties, we're not going to other people's houses, that kind of thing. Why not treat yourself, buy a new board game, and have lots of fun or arguments with the family. You know, there's always a sore loser, someone's always cheats. 26. I don't know about you guys, but I always have a Christmas food box. From about September onwards, I start buying an extra item every week for my food shopping, like cranberry sauce one week, stuff in another, gravy then another. And I build up a Christmas food box so that it's not really expensive, like right just before Christmas. So if you have a food box, maybe you could take a photo of the things that you have in that food box. Which leads us on to 27. When I was a kid, my mum only ever got like the Christmas nuts and Christmas chocolate out on Christmas Eve. And that's when I knew it was Christmas. It was always like, can we have the Christmas chocolates now, mum? And there'd always be like bowls, like dishes of nuts and dishes of chocolates and things like on the sideboard, on the table, coffee table, that kind of thing. That's when you know it's Christmas. So I thought that might be fun to document. Number 28. Something I do with my daughter and daughters this year is we might actually be weeks now, but in past years we've done themed days. Like we've had a reindeer day, and on that day we've made reindeer themed food. We've made reindeer food for to leave out for Santa's reindeer. We've gone and gathered lichen and moss and leaves and she's made jars full of reindeer food, and we've made reindeer antlers and had reindeer games, that kind of thing. We've also done Snowman Day, where everything's been snowman themed. We've watched the snowman, we read the snowman, made crafts of the snowman, baked of the snowman, that kind of thing. So like have a themed day. Now I do have another Etsy shop called The Whimsical Cloud, and if you want some ideas for themed days like that, check out my Etsy shop. I sell like resource packs with like all the information you need if you want to do something like that. I'm 29. You could have your own carol service. When I was a little girl, I used to, well, my parents, every Sunday, we used to turn all the lights off in the front room, just have the Christmas tree lights on, and we used to sing Christmas carols together, which was quite nice. So you could do that with just like your family unit in your household for a bit of fun. It doesn't have to be traditional, it could be like modern classics, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Get instruments out who want to, just have a bit of fun. Number 30, set up a hot chocolate bar. We did this a few years ago. It's like set out on our breakfast bar. We have nice Christmas mugs and hot chocolate and sprinkles and everything you need. Have a hot chocolate station, hot chocolate bar. That's quite nice. Something we look forward to every day in December. We snuggle down with a hot chocolate and watch a bit of Christmas TV. So you could document that. If you have number 31, if you have an elf, we have an elf on the shelf. It doesn't move, it just stays there, which is a good thing because we do other things. Rather than the elf. I don't really like the concept of the elves doing naughty things. I think we spend all our time trying to ask children to be good and well behaved, yet the elves come along and do naughty things. So I don't really agree with that. So our elf just sits on the shelf, but still you could document her arrival, the elf's arrival, no matter what you do. Maybe have a North Pole breakfast, something like that. So that's 31, 32. 31, your arrival of your elf. 32, your North Pole breakfast. Still 31, you could document the different things that your elf does every day if you have one. 33. I told you there was a lot. We make air dry clay hand and footprint ornaments. So we do these every year. My children we roll out the clay, put a handprint in, let it dry, and then we paint it. So it's all Christmassy, and we have some that stay on our Christmas tree at home, and then we also give some to the grandparents as well. 34, have a merry Grinchmas. You could have a Grinchmas. Instead of Christmas, you could have a Grinchmas. You could eat all Grinch themed food, and watch the Grinch. I have links to all these in that document, that PDF I told you about. There is links to everything I mentioned, guys. So don't worry if you like what the hell's Grinchmas. Look at that document and then look at Grinchmas. Okay, where was I? 35, go for a woodland walk with your family and go and collect foliage if you can, and make yourself a festive ornament. It doesn't matter if you've not got any like floral training or whatever, just have fun with it. Just have fun. Just plonk it all together and make yourself a nice, like, you know, festive arrangement. Or just go for a walk. You know, you can't beat just being in amongst pine trees at Christmas time. I'm getting to the end. 37, celebrate the winter solstice. The winter solstice is the turn of the year where we start to welcome the winter and try and welcome the sun back. So you could do things like make an orange pomander, so an orange studded with cloves. I do that every year. Or you could dry some orange slices and make some ornaments with them. I use nuts and cranberries and some twine and things, and we do that on the winter solstice. So yeah, you could do that. You could 38 find a ballet or a panto to watch online. Doesn't have to be out and about, and there's so many people who have put stuff on the internet for free now, so you could do that. 39, you can make your own Christmas crackers. We do this every year, and you can document that. I buy the snaps that go in the inside, buy them off of Amazon, and then we use the inside of toilet roll tubes, or you could use kitchen towel, and then we just put what we want in them, usually sweets. Sometimes we make paper hats as well, but we make jokes and put jokes in, and cover them in brown paper, and then the kids draw on them, or we put stickers on them. So you could document that. You could 40 document your stockings being hung on Christmas Eve, either at the end of the bed or by the fireplace, wherever you hung those. You could 41 document your children's Christmas Eve box. If they get one, do a flat lay of the contents or what they got in there. 42, take a photo of the mince pies or the plates that your children leave out for Santa on Christmas Eve. And 43, you can document all the presents underneath the Christmas tree. And obviously on Christmas Day, you've got the entire of Christmas Day to photograph, opening the presents, the Christmas lunch, all that kind of thing. On Boxing Day, you've got like the buffet that you could document, you know, all that kind of stuff. So that's all things that you can do. That's like 43, 44 things that you can do COVID secure. All things that you can do this year. And I think when I started to think about it, that's actually a lot of festive fun that you can have that's socially distanced without paying money as well. A lot of these things are not necessarily about money. It's not about like the materialism. So you can still have a kick-ass Christmas without going to the pantos and all these things. So let's look at this as this is a different Christmas. This is a like a homely Christmas. This is a wholesome Christmas. This is a, you know, a different Christmas, but it's not a crap Christmas. So I really hope that's helped, like give you some ideas if you were thinking, oh, I can't do December daily this year because, you know, of the year it is. So yeah, I hope that's helped, guys. As I said, like there's a link to the document if you want to read all these prompts and more. That was just my COVID prompts and all the details of all the apps and things I use. So Merry Christmas, you guys, and thanks for watching. Bye.